People of Reddit who got shot or stabbed, what's the sensation like? I got shot in the hip. Felt like a burning sensation, and I couldn't put any weight on that leg. The pain at that moment was a weird 6/10. Within minutes there was an ambulance. Lucky. I'm pretty sure they gave me a shot of morphine in the ambulance because the pain leveled out to about a 4 until they wheeled me into the operating room. Where were you when you got shot? From the way you tell it, it sounds like some sort of accident. Hope you recovered. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lol, I had to have a leg extension and hip replacement surgery, but yeah, I've recovered. It doesn't hurt at all now. Thanks. Does anything feel weird? Any strange feeling in the inside or something? If not, thank goodness for that. Nope, it feels normal now. Nice. That's what we're going for. I've been shot before, and you don't feel a thing, except the sensation of being punched. Then about 2 to 5 minutes later it's a nearly unimaginable sensation of burning and pain I can't describe from the location. Then you get cold and pass out, or so I did. Edit. Wow, this was bigger than I ever thought, so I guess I'll try to explain more. It was an accident at discharge from a friend of mine into my right arm. I passed out because I was scared, in pain, and hyperventilating, not bleeding to death. Although I did lose a whole bunch of blood, it wasn't a lethal amount. Being shot once doesn't make me a doctor. I know nothing about gunshot wounds beyond they hurt bad and took a long time to heal. As far as the cold goes, I don't know why I was cold ever, or why it was burning so badly. I was too scared to really deal with that was going on. I have also been shot. That's exactly what I felt. It was almost like a warm shower on that one spot mixed with a slight burning sensation. Then the initial shock wears off. I wanted to pass out at that point. I didn't. Is it weird that you basically described a dream I've had a couple of times? Where I got shot and the bullet wound area just got warm. Cause I'm a little creeped out now. Probably cause your body is used to the idea of getting intense pain. I assume the initial warm thing is the initial response to any injury that penetrates skin while adrenaline's going, getting bit being one. Still pretty cool that dreams are accurate like that. I got stabbed in the gut once. I was a dumb angry kid fighting with other dumb angry kids. One of them pulled a knife and just stabbed me. He wasn't really aiming, I don't think, and I honestly didn't feel it, really just saw the blade get pushed into my gut over by the hip. I froze for a second, then punched the guy and took off running. I probably made it about 10 to 15 feet before I collapsed just holding the knife. Luckily I had some friends there, they just kinda surrounded me while one of them called an ambulance. Last thing I remember was one of my buddies shouting something before I passed out. Woke up a few days later in the hospital and I couldn't bend my abdomen at all. I didn't really feel any pain, just a constant throbbing around the area, but it did hurt like hell whenever I tried to bend over. Doc said there was no major damage done, the blade missed my intestines by about a centimeters. What happened to the other kid? I was never told. To be fair though, I never actually asked. For the first few weeks I was just in awe of the whole situation. By the time I came around to be curious about what happened to him, I had already gotten over it. I'd hope stabbing another kid would get you put in juvenile detention until at your age of majority at least. Usually the type of people who get into a situation where they get stabbed are the type of people who wouldn't speak to the police when they get stabbed, at least in England anyway, where knife crime seems to be the norm. Just in London and the closely surrounding areas really. It'd be weird if someone got stabbed where I live. I got shot 6 times in a setup/robbery type situation almost 10 years ago. Went and bought some weed, and the guy I bought it from called his buddies that robbed me when I left. I got 1 in the armpit/shoulder, 2 in the chest, 2 in the stomach, 1 in the hip. I didn't necessarily feel pain anywhere but my hip, where the bullet lodged into my hip bone and cracked it. I was so amped on adrenaline that I actually got back up and walked a few blocks bleeding everywhere to where the hospital was. Scared the entire lobby of people all to hell, but it didn't really hurt until I woke up from surgery a few days later. The broken ribs from the 2 in the chest were arguably worse than anything else. Why did they shoot you? Did you refuse to give them the money or something? Could they really not find a better person to rob? $50 seems like it's a pretty bad bang for your buck. I agree. Don't honestly know why. As I said above, I'd have given it to them if they asked. Probably won't ever know, to be honest. But no arguments or confrontation. Just bullets and solutions. I got stabbed 3 times with a serrated kitchen steak knife. Hit my spleen, stomach, and heart. It was dark. A little fellow came at me swinging punches. I was still trying to defuse the situation. Didn't want it to come to a fight, so I blocked the punches by slapping them downward. But he had a knife in each hand. I didn't feel the stabs. Just felt like light punches to my torso. He turned and ran. I looked down and saw that I was drenched in blood. Walked a few steps and sat on the curb. Turned to a panic-stricken woman next to me and said, "I can't believe how tired I am." Then, asleep I went. I didn't really feel the stabs. Dang, that's crazy. At least, I guess, it actually wasn't that painful then. And the fact that you're here talking about it means you survived. Yeah, sort of. Dude was out of his head. He ran off a few feet then sat on the curb crying. He called 911. I had to undergo emergency open heart surgery without anesthesia. Now, that hurt like a I was stabbed on a bus in Seoul, Korea as a teenager, with a pair of scissors. I put my arm up to protect my face as that's where they were headed. It went straight in through my elbow. It burnt like a searing pain. Who stabbed you? Another teenager. No idea who or why. Bus was coming to a stop. He was sitting in the seat in front. He launched over the seat and stabbed at my face. I threw my arm up over my face to block it. Had to pull the scissors out myself as he got up and ran off the bus as it came to a stop. I'm not Korean. We were expats living in Korea at the time. You should never pull out whatever stabbed you. It usually helps to keep the blood in your body. Unless it's hollow, then you're in trouble. What makes hollow ones worse? Just curious. I reckon the fact that it's hollow means blood can flow out of it. Shot in the leg twice. You don't really feel it at first, not like a beanbag being thrown really hard and accurate. But then the pain really starts ramping up until they put drugs in you. Twice at the same time or separate occasions? Same time. When you get hit with a shotgun loaded with birdshot at my back on accident. Had some in bed and had to be dug out. It doesn't feel at certain points, but more like getting hit with a low speed car all over. I passed out from shock, and when I woke up I wasn't in pain anymore cause they were already dug out, and I was on pain meds till they finished healing. Still have faint scars on my back that aren't very visible, but you can feel the texture change. What happened? How do you get hit with a shotgun and live? A hunting accident caught my now ex friend pointing it at my back, and I told him to watch it. It's not loaded and it's safe, deed. It's fine. Bang. That moron. He tried to kill you. Yes, that's literally attempted murder. Nah, manslaughter. No, because he was the vice president at the time. I mean, for something to be attempted murder has to be trying to kill you. It's kinda in the name. That's clearly not the case here. Got stabbed by my dad once when he was drunk and angry about something. Can't remember what, because unfortunately he was drunk and angry a lot. I saw it coming and was terrified the whole time, so I'm not sure if that amplified or lessened the pain. I was stabbed in the shoulder, and it wasn't particularly deep, but it felt like being stuck with a needle, only wider, if that makes sense. It wasn't a particularly pleasant experience, and it's certainly not one I'd like to repeat. The bare minimum I'd expect from a parent is to not be stabbed by them. Sorry it happened to you. Spare the puncture wound. Spoil the child. Don't go on. Put it back. You're reading from the Bible, Black. Ironically, back in December my dad stabbed me 5 times. I was just about to respond to that comment with "Hey, me too." Hopefully you're in a better situation now. Glad you're still with us. Experiences define living. Without them we are nothing. It's all growth, as long as you live through it. I'm alive and able to move. Because of his actions he's gone from my life for good. Thank you for your concern. Was stabbed in lower abdomen by a very serious and very gnarly pair of shears. Was installing an air conditioner for a female resident at a group home. She didn't like how fast I was going because she was hot and went for my balls, but stabbed my pubic area near my bladder. It felt like a ton of pressure and mostly burning. I thought it was a curling iron at first, but I grabbed her wrist and smashed her hand on the wall. I saw the blood in the rest of the scissors then. Had an open drain for weeks while it healed. Did she get prison time? No, just back to the actual psyche ward. I got stabbed by myself on accident. Ripped open an artery and severed a tendon, so I'm not over exaggerating when I say stabbed. The only thing I really felt was a cold sensation around the area. I didn't feel any actual pain until I was getting stitches because the doctor had to go pretty deep. Other than that, it really wasn't that bad. It was more scary than anything else. Is there a backstory? I feel like we all could learn a lesson from this. Yeah, an embarrassing one. I was like 14 or 15 and my sister made brownies while I was at school. By the time I got home they were hard as a rock, but being the fat kid I was, I really wanted one. So my thought was, since they were so hard, I had to use the sharpest knife I could find to cut them. Luckily for me, my mom's boyfriend at the time was a deep sea fisherman and he gave me a serrated blade knife that they used to cut bone as a gift. It was the sharpest thing you'll ever see. I was so excited to eat the brownies that I just started slicing away at them. The knife got stuck, and since I was cutting forwards myself, when it came loose I pulled the knife with full force through my thumb and out the webbing on the other side, severing a tendon and an artery. It was literally squirting blood, and I'm proud to say I didn't really freak out over it. Moral of the story: if you don't want 11 stitches and a non-functioning thumb for the rest of your life, don't cut forwards yourself.